welcome to my channel, Keasam, Kama Evolution Anti-Satanic Ascending Movement. Welcome to my channel, everybody. Today we're going to continue with a new topic, the topic that follows up the last topic, and the topic is called the hiding powers in strange places and the eyes to see the truth. The hiding of powers in strange places and the eye to see the truth. The topic is the hiding of powers in strange places and the eye to see the truth. So let us talk about it. Before we are going to really understand, we have to understand that our eyes need to understand. We have two eyes to say that. The outer aspect of the eye and the inner eye. So let us start in the eye of your understanding. What you need to understand. Okay? This eye I'm talking about is about that we have to understand that the creation that we're living in, alright? When you look around, you see all things in nature. You have learned in school that the planets revolve around the sun, and the moon revolves around the earth, and the galaxies and everything. And then within the nature and creation, you see all kinds of things. Remember that this is the things that at the beginning we didn't know very well as human beings how those places are. And the same way, in those places in universe and in creation, they are what are called dimensions. Science that we're using today can only tap into the first and second and the third dimension, and now they were able to enter the fourth dimension. But there are more dimensions that have been calculated to be true beyond the fourth dimensions, the fifth, sixth, and going on those dimensions. In those dimensions where things are going on from level to level, in order for you to see those things, you must have what they call a scientific instrument according to science. Like a microscope is able to see very small things, but an opposite of a microscope would be a telescope, is to see things in the far distance and big things. But they are very important for us to see. So these are all physical things that we have, but we know that this creation has multi-layers of universes, which are called galaxies, and multi-layers of dimensions. Different layers of dimensions are there. So what is the point of those different layers of dimensions? What is the point of those different layers of dimensions? Well, the point of those different layers of dimension is for you to understand that there are dimensions that were not accessible, but spiritually you are able to access them. Meaning that your spirit is also made out of different dimensions. Yes, you have me right. Your spirit is made out of different dimensions. Your body, the spirit, and your soul is made out of different dimensions. Not just the third dimensions. When you get in the spirit, you get into energy. Spirit is energy. You're getting in other dimensions energetically. On those dimensions that you're getting into are different dimensions. And in each dimensions, the shapes are changing and the forms are changing and reality looks different. What does it have to do with you and me? In the topic, hiding the power in strange places. What does it have to do with the topic? The hiding of the powers in strange places and the eye to see the truth. Man, let's go on. There are what I call dimensions. So for your eyes to see the truth, you have to have an open eye to see the hidden places, the secret places. Because in those dimensions or those realms, also called the spirit realm, there are treasures, there are fountains, there are source of powers, there are interfaces that you will have with things, okay? And what you have to understand is that the realm of the spirit is like an ocean of wild animals. Everything can happen on their dimensions, their shapes, their colors, and all kinds of things that you go to expect. But I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is, because you are here to learn, to have the capability to see. Let us dive a little bit more deeper. You see, your eyes has been proven, and that your eyes can see spiritual. There's in fact a documentary that was made, okay, in that they have discovered that when someone is charged electrically, that the person will start to be able to see things. They start to see shadow entities.
Experiments with electric stimulation of the brain have also caused people to have unexplainable encounters.
There was a study done in Sweden where the scientists put electric charges in certain parts of the brain just to see how the subject would react to them. And a young undergrad was sitting there with a notebook, and when they increased the voltage to a certain part of her brain, she started pulling away from something that wasn't there. And afterwards, when she was asked by the scientist to describe what was going on, she said that she saw a shadow entity behind her. And when the voltage was at its highest, she said it was trying to take the notebook and pen out of her hands, and she was jerking to keep it.
So that means when your eyes are, and your body's electrified, right, with high electricity, you start to see entities. Now this following video, you will see it. Now those entities, as you have seen, that they're seeing, what is happening to the brain that they're able to see? Well, there's a scripture in the Bible that the light is the lamp to our eyes. A lot of eyes, our two eyes, the lamp is not on. The lamp is not on, it's off, because it lacks the power to see. It lacks the power to see. So because of this, you do not see. But what happens when you get electricity, which are plus and minus charges, where electricity is like what? Lightning, right? Lightning produces like what? Fire. So if you took electricity and put it on paper, what happens? It can lighten up the fire. So what happens when electricity goes up? Your eyes will start to see. Your spiritual eyes, because it's energy, and you start to see things. So a real person that can see is electric, and it's hot, and it's fiery, and that energy allow him to see. So the reason people do not see is because there is not enough fire in the eyes. There's not enough light in the eyes. So people do not see. But the moment your fire increases, your electric current in your body increases, you start to see. Do you need an electric shock to see? No. What you need is a spiritual energy from the creator source that would charge you to see, which is the fire energy of the creator, which is electrical and it's fiery. So it's both like the sun and both like the lightning. You start to see all kinds of things, not just shadow beings. You're gonna see all kinds of things, including the positive, the good things, and the bad things. The good things and the bad things. The eyes open, you will see evil entities standing in front of you. You will see dreams, see visions, be clairvoyant. You have day visions. When you sleep, you're dreaming. Okay? When you go into dream world, you start seeing things. You have an interaction with the spiritual realm. But what you need to know is that certain places are hidden. Now, let's go on. What is the hidden place? What are the enemies are hiding, right? Because I said there are evil entities. So in the realm of the spirit, there are entities that are evil. Just like in the movie Thomas Ark that you're seeing. There are entities that are evil. And those evil entities are the satanic powers. Those satanic powers are in different dimensions, and they want to make sure that you will not get to know the secret. The satanic powers are not just one entity, are not just beings, they are also frequencies. There are all kinds of energy structures and forms and beings. So those powers are many spirits, okay? Many spirits. And what they want to do, they are attacking you. They are doing something to you. What is it and how do they operate? How did we human beings fail that we cannot know the secret anymore? How do they operate? Well, they operate like a hunter. What is a hunter? A hunter is there to hunt the animal, right? But when you see in some movies, what does the hunter do? The hunter camouflage himself. That means if it's the bush, he will camouflage himself like a bush or like a tree, so that you think, oh, it's all part of it. It makes things look alike, like the good things. It makes things look like the normal good thing. But they are so mastered that they're hiding themselves from corner to corner, from colors to colors, shape to shape. They like to shape and camouflage themselves, to hide themselves. So as they are hiding themselves, and they are coming and changing their shape or their structure, they are hiding, they are painting themselves, and you do not see them. And guess what? It always looks like the good thing. Okay? It always looks like the good thing. You have to have the ability and the tools to discern them. And that's how the Satanic Kingdom has won. Because they have gone so far as replacing the original truth and brought up the version of Christianity, Judaism, Islam, or many and most religions of the world, because they have camouflaged themselves in a way that seems good and assimilated themselves with us.
So my father did 3 tours in the Vietnam War. And in his second tour, he was advanced enough in rank, and he was there, I think, 11 or 12 months. And when he was in country at that point, he's always been a field officer and came up in the military through the Korean War in a battlefield commission. And so, the military likes guys like him, and they let him be in charge of a couple of different projects. One of the projects that he was in charge of at the time was this technology that they introduced into Vietnam that almost brought the war to a standstill. And this technology was a night vision goggle. But it's not night vision as we have it now, okay? Because the night vision goggle was done in the red spectrum. And so when my father came back from Vietnam...
You mean infrared or...
No, I'll explain.
Ordinary red.
Oh, ordinary red, okay. So instead of seeing... When you look at a night vision goggles now, you see green. Everything is translated into green for you. And human eye sees green, more colors, shades of green than any other color. It's part of our evolution, our need to find food.
So that's clever then.
Correct. But see, here's the thing. It started off as red. And so the night vision goggles were introduced to helicopter pilots and gunnery people in Vietnam. And I won't hesitate as to I won't guess as to which year it was that they introduced them, but my father was part of this initial experiment with the troops that he commanded. And it was a disaster because the image was presented in red pixels, not green. And because of the technology being used at that time, it created very interesting effects that they could not deal with. So you had some officers that were part of this cadre, or this cohort of other officers that were all testing these new technologies for the military, that had their troops always use these goggles. And those units became self-destructive. They went down in a horrid situation. My father was extremely practical, didn't want to see himself get destroyed in any way, wanted to return and get out. So as soon as he saw what was going on with these goggles, he had his people take them off. And he actually got praise from the military for the way that he dealt with all of this. But the effect was this: a gunner in a helicopter would have no problem using these goggles, and only everything is showing up as a sort of a faint reddish image. And it was true night vision the way we have it now, and even a greater depth, because you could also flip it and get an extra layer that was sort of yellowish that would be heat signatures as well. And they don't have those combined anymore in these goggles. Anyway, the goggles that were presented to the gunners, and my father tells the story of the very first time they're out with them, and they're flying along, and he's in the front of the helicopter with the pilot, and all of a sudden, in a very peaceful area, not anything going on at all, the gunner in his on the starboard side of his helicopter starts firing wildly at their height, not at anything on the ground, but in an area that he was shooting at, and basically causing other helicopters in their little flotilla to have to react. And my father goes on back to the gunner, basically demanding, "What the hell, dude? What are you shooting at?" And the kid is just sweating profusely, and his eyes are just dilated beyond belief. And my dad thought he was dealing with another heroin addict, but this was before it had gotten really bad in Vietnam, and the kid was not exhibiting those kind of symptoms. He was reacting to what he had seen, and he's describing to my father that he was shooting at these basically flying demons that were flying alongside the helicopter, and he knew they were coming to get him because they were gesturing at him and they could see him. And so he reacted, and he started shooting his Bren gun, big 50 caliber slugs at these things, right? And they were flying along right next to the helicopter, so he's firing out directly from the helicopter, and there are other helicopters in the vicinity, so it caused all kinds of problems. And this goes on repeatedly, week after week after week. Every time they try and use these night vision goggles, at some point they encounter monsters, true monsters. Now, officers had been told not to wear these. Okay, the pilots were told not to wear them. But my dad put them on to see what the hell was going on, and to hear him describe it, it was like being in the worst kind of a demonic gothic hell.
Jeez.
That you'd look out at the tops of trees and you'd see these creatures with big wings and claws and everything come flying off at the tops of the trees, but you take the goggles off and there's not even a disturbance in the fog above the canopy of the trees, right?
They're perceiving into an aspect of consciousness.
Correct.
Another dimension.
And it was tied to the red image. As soon as they went to green, all of this kind of stuff disappeared.
Of course.
Now, as they camouflaged, they started making things look right. So one aspect is truth. Let's say you have the truth. So not they came and looked like the truth, but on the tail they attached the lie. And that's the way they do it. That's why they say the devil is in the details. So in that details, they would change it. Okay? It just takes to change the word no to yes and yes to no, and the whole thing is over. So what they are very subtle. Okay? So that's how they approach things. So they look like the thing, the truth. They connected with the truth, but on the tail is what? The lie, the deception. This is this number one warfare tactic of Shaitan, because he came to steal, kill, and destroy. He's the father of lie. So he wanted to destroy humanity. But now watch this. At the same time, in destroying the humanity, he had to make sure to hide certain things of truth, of what you should not know, which is called the power centers, your center of power. In those power centers, that they were hiding something, there's entire science to it. In those power centers that they were hiding something, there's entire science to it. And that science is what they have been hiding from us. So they have agents, teachers, and everything to brainwash us, okay? And to give us a type of lifestyle that does not produce the supernatural results, the closest to the Creator, and the powers that we're looking. So that is where the problem lies. So what they did, they gave us a different law. Like I explained to you in the video before, that they have changed the law, the truth. But me, I was able to decipher the truth and locate those things. So I'm going to explain to you, where does the enemy hide things? Well, hiding the powers in strange places. What makes it strange? It makes it strange because you and I would never think it's going to be there. A strange place is going to be there where you never think the power will be there. And that is also laws related to strange laws. So certain laws that we think is that that is morally, but there's certain things that is immoral. So there's moral, immoral. What if it's a different version of truth that has elements of moral and immoral? On that we call it then strange. What if the truth is stranger than fiction? Which it is. Truth is stranger than fiction. So where is it hidden? In strange places. In places where the true power source is. Where there is a science to it. In strange places. Because on the other dimension, and different dimensions of this body, there are something. Strange things, right? Strange places. But there is power there. So they put it in places that are strange to our mind to understand. Maybe things we will laugh at. Maybe things that we will not even believe it. Maybe things that will sound crazy. Maybe things, it could be all kinds of things. Okay? That what is actually, when you really think again, makes sense. But because of the indoctrination and manipulation, it does not make sense anymore. It seems like wrong. It seems like evil. Now they have turned evil good and good evil. What do you think the enemy or Shaitan, if he has changed the law, has done? He has changed good to evil, evil to good, and mixed the whole game up. Sexual intercourse between a man and a woman is the supreme Buddha activity. To be united as a man and a woman is to be united with Buddha. Let me repeat it again. Sexual intercourse between man and woman is the supreme Buddha activity. To be united as a man and a woman is to be united with Buddha. What does Buddha mean? The word Buddha means to be awakened, means to be enlightened. Buddha is a state of enlightenment. It's a state that is there. So they are sending you in the ancient Buddhism that you cannot know the higher supreme Buddhahood except what? When a man and a woman unite. That is called the supreme Buddha activity. You become Buddha, meaning you are one with Buddha. When a man and woman has made love, you have become enlightened. So when a man and a woman has made love, you have become enlightened. You have become Buddha. You have become awoke. Why have you woken up? Why have you been enlightened? What is so powerful? What is so amazing about the sexual union between a man and woman? Yes. Another Buddha quote. The action of the sexual congress revealed the truth. Sexual congress is the realm of bliss. The two roots cannot be separated. They cannot exist independently. the fusion of male and female results in creation of the universe. Learn how to generate snow, dew, wind through sexual congress. What does sexual congress mean? What does the word congress mean? Congress means a formal meeting, a trade union from within a particular sphere of activity. In other words, sexual union. And that produces the universe, creation. Because that is the Buddha, that's the enlightenment, is that through the sexual union, you realize creation. You realize creation happens through sexual union. And that will realize that how the Creator created the world. And that's where we come to the next point. When you read the Bible, it says, in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. That word God is a mistranslation. That word, when broken down, contains the male and female energy, which is the Creator himself. So the Creator is made of male and female energy in the Hebrew language. Before, they changed the whole meaning and the grammatic and whatever they did. It just only just translated as God, when well, God is just male. Let's go to John chapter 3, 4-7. Okay? And listen to carefully what the Bible says. In John chapter 3, from 4 verse 4-7, it says this. Nicodemus said, but if a person is already old, how can we be born again? He cannot enter the mother's womb again. So how can a person be born a second time? But Jesus answered and said, I tell you the truth. Unless you are born from water and the Spirit, you cannot enter the kingdom of the Creator. To be born of what? To be born of what? To be born of water and Spirit is to be born in what? What birth is a womb? Is a woman. So if you have a womb and it's a woman, right? That woman which has a womb does what? It brings birth. It brings what? Birth. So water and Spirit, energy. The Spirit of the Creator. That means the Creator has a female part because he has a womb. The Creator is also female. Water element, of course, represents what? The woman. Why? Because when the woman breaks her water, what does it do? It has something to do with birth, right? Bringing a baby to be born. To conclude the matter is for you to understand the Creator is male and female. I just proved to you that the feminine aspect of the Creator is the womb of the Creator, which is the vagina of the Creator, the womb. So the Creator has a womb. Okay? Now, because the Creator is both male and female. It is male and female that create. The proof of it is in Genesis chapter 1 verse 25. And the Creator said this in verse 26, Genesis chapter 1 verse 26. And the Creator said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. And the Creator made Adam, man, in his own image. In the image he created he, male and female created he them. Now you can see the male and female is in Adam. It was made in the image of the Creator. Now the word of the Creator's name in modern Hebrew today is Elohim. If we go to Ethiopic Hebrew, is Al-Him. And in the ancient Hebrew is, in the archaic Hebrew written, okay, it's Alahayam. And that means male and female, but male dominantly is the energy, but it has both, it has male and female. So there is a so-called energy of male and female. We will discuss about that more. So by changing that word in the translation to God, the female aspect is lost. Because technically, they could have said, and God has said, let us make man in our own image. That would be also wrong. You know, to create Adam in his own image, which is man. When it says man, it means Adam. Let us create man in our own image. It would be technically also wrong, because now it's only the feminine excluding the masculine. So the word would be, could have been also translated, and the God and the goddess said, let us make man in our own image, after our own likeness, in the image of their own likeness. Okay? If that was like that, that would imply that we have two separate bodies, and one is a male god and another one is a female god outside. That would be somehow correct, but again wrong, because you are implying that there are two gods that is separate. Okay? Or not one creator within the body. So in the Hebrew, they have it differently. They will say Alahayam, meaning there is one power, one creator, okay, that have many different powers in one body, which is one, the powers are divided as male powers and female powers. Male and female, which is power beings in one body, Alahayam. Okay? So it says, and Alahayam said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let him the image of our likeness, and let him have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over the earth, and over every creeping things that creepeth upon the earth. And Elohim created Adam in his own image. In the image of Elohim created he, male and female created he them. Okay? So it's actually male and female, because the male and female is mirroring the creator, who is male and female. You understand? So the creator is mirroring that. Okay? The male and female. That is what you have to understand. And that's what the enemy took out. So that's why there is no potential for creation. For creation to happen, there must be opposite energies, the plus and the minus, the male and the female. Those opposite energies produce electricity, produce life. Man and woman produce children, and by so doing that, they have destroyed the true meaning of the creator, and those a lot of functionalities and metaphysics has been lost. Welcome to the truth. Keasam, Karma, Evolution, Anti-Satanic Ascending Movement. Please join and subscribe and comment on my channel. It's time to change the world. It's time to rise. It's time to make a difference in the world. Till next time.